Welcome to our 1987 production of Dickens' Christmas Carol. This is our 6th annual. Each year when we begin this, I feel like we're on an adventure together. And tonight is the end of the adventure. It reminds me of some of these storybooks that the students are reading now, where the story begins and they have to put the ending on the story. They are putting the ending to our adventure tonight. So you and I will see how it ends together. I believe that the purpose of education is to prepare your children to be resourceful adults. Part of that education needs to take place beyond the walls of the school. One way to do that is to bring the children to a wonderful place like this so that they can have a different kind of experience. The question is, can they do the same things here that they can do in the classroom? Do they follow the rules here that they're able to follow there? Some can, some can't. It should help them, though, to have this experience through life's way, because I think they'll look back on it as a growth for each one of them. Thank you for coming. I especially thank you for your cooperation in picking up the students over here the last 2 days. Enjoy the show.
fine day at the market?
Yes, yes, congratulations on your betrothal.
Jane, are you going to Fred and Peg's party? I wouldn't miss it. We're going too. Look at the steps we've learned. Doesn't Josephine make a fine topper? I thought you were going to the party with Mark, Margaret. Oh, today, Mark. Tomorrow, Topper. One just never knows. I heard that Topper rather fancies Mary's sister.
Sister, you needn't be embarrassed by such a remark. Topper's a fine gent. When I was first courting Mary, she was quiet too. Now how I would appreciate some of that silence.
Bullseye, we got you. Are you chaps meeting us for sledding in Wellington Hills this afternoon?
Have you forgotten about Fred and Peg's party? Since my betrothal, I've been to all the parties with Jane. I've been looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm sure Elizabeth would miss you.
It must be nice to be so sure of a dance partner, Peter. Hi, Margaret!
Hi, Topper!
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Topper.
Topper, are you going to Fred and Peg's?
Of course, I wouldn't miss seeing all those gorgeous girls in their finery.
You're going to dance too?
My dance card is always full.
I'm not dancing. I'm going to Wellington Hill for some fun. See you at the party, William. Oh! Thank you, Topper.
Why doesn't he change that sign?
Old Marley said it's doornail.
Oh, good evening. Well, it's true.
Marley has been dead for years.
Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years.
Scrooge was his sole executive, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and sole mourner when he died.
Scrooge even signed his register of burial. But still, he's never painted out old Marley's name.
I bet you're wondering why we have any interest in Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge and his long-dead partner.
When we were very young, Grandfather Fezziwig told us many, many stories of his apprentices.
There were two he particularly loved, and one of them was Ebenezer Scrooge.
They had such good times together.
Grandfather Fezziwig greatly admired Ebenezer.
Cratchit!
But, sir, it's very cold.
Put that wood back.
Very good, sir.
Directly after Christmas, I shall put a lock on the wood box. Understand?
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. It's only that it's a bitter day, and I have a bit of a cold, sir.
That is no excuse for you to rob my wood box. Besides, we all work better in air that is a bit brisk.
Yes, sir.
Stop that noise, do you hear? Stop it at once.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Be off with the lot of you.
No need to wish him a Merry Christmas. That's old Scrooge it is.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug!
Christmas? A humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that? I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right do you have to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug!
Don't be cross.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you? The time for paying bills without money. The time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. The time for balancing your books and finding them dead against you. If I had my way, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried a stick of holly through his heart.
Now see here, Uncle.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way. Let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then.
I've always thought of Christmas as a good time. Fine, charitable, pleasant time when men and women open up their shut-up hearts freely. And therefore, though Christmas has never put a scrap of silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good. So I say, God bless it.
Well spoken, Mr. Fred.
Let me hear another sound from you, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go on a parliament.
Don't be angry. I came here to ask you to come and dine with Peg and me tomorrow.
I'm not interested.
But we want nothing from you. Only your company.
No!
But why? You never met my wife.
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, Uncle, but I'm not going to allow you to chase away the Christmas spirit I feel in my heart. A Merry Christmas, Uncle, and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Bob.
Same to you, Mr. Fred.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. And a very Merry Christmas to you, my good lasses.
Come in, the latch isn't on.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley's been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago, this very night.
Then I have no doubt his liberality is well represented by a surviving partner. At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, we try to make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses? Are they still in operation?
They are, unfortunately. I wish I could say they were not.
And the poor law? Is it still in full vigor?
It is, sir.
I was afraid, from what you had said, that something had occurred to stop them in the useful course. I am glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christmas cheer to these poor folk, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund, to buy some meat, some drink, some means of warmth.
We choose this time to help these unfortunates because it is a time when want is strongest. What shall we put you down for?
Nothing!
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help support the establishments I've mentioned, and those who are badly off must go there.
Most of them would rather die than do that.
Let them do exactly that and help decrease the surplus population.
Obviously, you are not interested in the misfortunes of others.
It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good day, ma'am. Good day, sir.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas.
It is but 12 minutes past 5 o'clock, Cratchit. Your workday ends at 6.
I know, sir, but I have to stop at the greengrocers and the poulterers before I get home, and they close at 6 sharp.
Oh, very well. You want all day tomorrow, I suppose?
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, and yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier, the next morning.
Indeed I will, Mr. Scrooge, and Merry Christmas, sir.
Humbug.
Took his usual melancholy dinner at his usual tavern.
How do we know this?
You might well ask.
We have eaten at that same tavern every afternoon for the same number of years Scrooge has been coming here since Marley's death.
The talk of the town he was that very next day. For such talk there was.
In no time at all, we had all heard one version or another of the Christmas Eve Scrooge had his visitors.
But we know the truth, and we can relate it to you.
After leaving the tavern, he made his way to his chambers. A gloomy set of rooms had once belonged to old Marley.
The house was old now and dreary enough, for nobody lived there but Scrooge.
The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, was fain to grope with his hands.
The fog and frost hung about the old black gateway of the house.
Now it is a fact there's nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door, except that it was very large.
It is also a fact that Scrooge had seen it day and night for 7 years, and had as little of what is called fancy as any man thereabouts.
But it is said Scrooge saw in the knocker, not a knocker, but Marley's face.
There was a dismal light about it, but was not angry or ferocious, looking instead just like Marley had used to. Mind you, we never saw this apparition.
But 'tis Mr. Scrooge himself that makes the claim, and in hearing of it, why, you just know he's telling the truth.
To say he was not startled would be untrue.
Nevertheless, he continued as always up to his chambers in the darkness.
Much cheaper than lighting a candle, you know.
He ate his late supper by the light of a single candle only and changed into his dressing gown.
Even though everything seemed as usual, there was an eerie feeling in the air.
The minutes ticked away in lonely silence.
It was about 10 o'clock when he heard it.
A clanking noise deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain towards this very room. Listen.
What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
You're nothing but a stomachache, an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese. This is more gravy than a gravy about you. Humbug.
You are wrong! I am the ghost of Jacob Marley!
Then why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death.
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. Of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you? For you also wear one, Ebenezer. Only you are still forging yours.
Can't you speak some words of comfort, Jacob?
I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. Many weary journeys lie ahead of me.
7 years dead and traveling all the time?
The whole time. No rest, no peace, incessant torture of remorse. I travel on the wings of the wind. Oh, such was I, an unheeding man.
But you are always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all of my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the ocean of my business. At this time of year, I suffer most.
You do speak strangely, Jacob.
Hear me, for my time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard upon me.
I am here to warn you that you have a chance of escaping my fate.
You're always a good friend to me.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I think I'd rather not.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Without their visits, you cannot hope to escape my fate. Expect the first when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over with?
Expect the second when the bell tolls twice. And the third when it strikes 3 times. And heed them when they appear. You will not be seeing me anymore. But remember what has passed between us.
Try and escape my miserable fate.
As Scrooge stared in frightened silence, the wraith-like figure of his deceased partner, Marley, receded into space. Then, exhausted by the ordeal, Scrooge dropped off to sleep. When Scrooge awoke, it was so dark that looking out of bed, he could scarcely pierce through the darkness to distinguish the window from the wall. But what was it that had disturbed his fitful sleep? The chiming of the 3/4 hour and nothing else. He had been exceedingly bothered by Marley's ghost, and had firmly resolved numerous times, in fact, that 'twas but a dream. With the deeply sounding hour bell, light flashed up in his room, and the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, I tell you, by a hand. Scrooge, who started up, found himself face to face with an unearthly visitor who drew them.
Are you the spirit whose coming is foretold to me?
I am.
Who are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What business brings you here?
Your welfare. Rise and walk with me.
Where are we going?
Out into the night on wings of air.
I'm immortal. I'm liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand there, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Look closely, Ebenezer Scrooge. You shall see a youth. Yourself, Ebenezer. Do you recognize this place?
Oh, but of course I do. The air smells so clean and fresh, I could walk this blindfolded. Upon my word. It's Fan, my dear sister.
Dear brother, I have wonderful news for you. This is to be your very last day at this school. We're going home.
Home, dear Fan? What? What does our father say of this?
He is ever so much kinder than he used to be. Our new stepmother seems to bring out a better side in him.
Maybe for you, but he's always harbored a grudge against me since our mother died at my birth.
Come along, Ebenezer. Father is just outside with the carriage. We're going home, Ebenezer.
Father! Ho there, boy. Let me have a look at you. They certainly haven't been feeding you over much.
I have grown.
Yes, most boys do. Did Fan tell you to not be moving back into this place? It's time for you to make your own way in the world. I've arranged an apprenticeship for you with Mr. Fezziwig. You'll move into the Fezziwig establishment with the other apprentices in 3 days' time.
3 days, Father? I'd hope I'd have my brother home longer.
3 days is quite long enough. Isn't that right, Ebenezer?
Yes, Father, quite enough.
Fan pleaded for more time, but my father was a stern man.
Your sister was a delicate creature, but always kind and thoughtful. A girl with a big heart.
So she had.
She died a young woman, leaving behind her one child.
Yes, my nephew, Fred.
He visited you yesterday. He bears a strong resemblance to her, don't you think?
Who?
Your nephew.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
Indeed, Ebenezer Scrooge. I've begun to think that you've gone through life with your eyes closed. Open them, Ebenezer. Open them wide, for there is another shadow.
It's Christmas Eve. No more work tonight, not a tap of it. Tonight we'll dance and sing and play.
There'll be no talk of business or of profits or of losses.
Come along then, friends. And how shall we start this festive evening?
With one of my stories, of course.
Oh,
good. I just love Mr. Fezziwig's stories. As you all know, Queen's College was my alma mater. It was a tradition at Queen's, and has become one with the Fezziwigs,
to serve a boar's head at Christmas time. It all began in 1521. One of the students at Queen's was walking in the country near the college, studying his Aristotle philosophy book, when suddenly a wild boar rushed out and attacked him. His only weapon being the small book he held in his hand, he promptly crammed it down the throat of the boar, sparing his life, thanks to the wise words of Aristotle.
Whose hair is bottle?
So, in commemoration of this event, we shall begin this festive evening with a most solemn procession of a boar. Yoo-hoo! Is everything ready, my dear?
Well, I'm having the hardest time finding your props. I can't seem to find the boar's head.
You have it right there.
You know.
Oh, that boar's head. Ready for us all. Thank you, my dear, for this delightful feast.
Oh, my dear husband, 'tis such a pleasure.
Oh, Val, Merry Christmas! What a lovely gown! What have you brought?
Come set your things here. Oh, Belle, will you have the dance with me?
I'd forgotten how beautiful she was. The Fezziwigs knew how to throw a party. Such a fine time we had, such wonderful foods. 'Twas a night never to be forgotten.
When was the last time you danced, Ebenezer?
Waste of time. Dancing.
You didn't think so then.
Dancing on a purpose then.
answer. I'll ask the questions, and you, Dick, you keep the count. 5 seconds, no more. If you shall take longer, you shall have to stand behind your chair. The last to stand shall win.
Come now, dear, don't go on so.
Yes, my love, I forgot myself. Let's begin. Hannah, this is your game. Pretty as a picture.
Isn't she though?
All right then, young Dick, here's one for you. Obsessed as a young man in love.
That's not a simile.
It is for this festive evening. Now for you, my dear daughter. Dry as a...
2, 3, 4, 5.
Dry as a bone. Up you go.
I wasn't ready.
I'll stand by your side. My dear wife, I find I'm as dry as a bone. You do have a cup of punch for me, don't you? Ebenezer, you're a whiz with words. Take over here for me.
Ah, yes. I was a capital player. That party was such a delight. I loved the time I spent with old Fezziwig.
What? Why such lavish praise? He spent no more than a few pounds on this evening.
The money wasn't the point. He made it seem festive and lavish.
He danced like a monkey and had a foolish grin on his face all day long.
It was his generous nature that warmed the hearts of those around him.
I'm such a lucky man to have such friends and family.
Good fortune is ours.
Hear, hear!
Celia, my dear, it must be your turn. Blind as a bat. Wonderful. Celia, you're so clever. She was always at the top of our class. Now, Jack, giddy as Joseph. That's not a simile. I'm not giddy. You're out, Jack, behind the chair with you. Girls, 2 heads are better than one. Here's one just for you. Shy as a...
Oh, let's see.
1, 2, now you give a chance. Heavens, yes. 2 women take long to make any decision. Gabby has 2 heads clucking about. Rock. Come now, girls, we need your simile. Could it be as shy as a violet? Well done. Robert, my friend, it must be your turn. Mighty as a band. Ho, Robert, your sister Joanna can still wrestle your arm to the table. Not that he doesn't need to be humbled now and again. They don't call me Joe for nothing. The cat's out, huh, Robert? More like the cat. 1, 2, 3. Mighty as an oak if you bust out the simile. Right you are. Come now, Ebenezer, be fair. One for the ladies now. Right you are, Harold. We can do it no matter what you give us. Katie, think now. Tight as
a drum, you idiot. Everyone knows that.
It's no use talking to them, sir. It is pointless and tactless.
Tact is a quality I despise.
That I can see.
Oh, of course, tight as a drum. So much for evening up the score now, gents. Jack's still the only one standing. Good for you, Katie. I knew he could do it.
Now I have one. A real stumper. Helen, gentle as a...
Oh dear. Well, it must be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A bird? A bird. Well, that evens up the score. Stand up, Helen.
Here's a good time to stop, eh? Since we're tied at an even score, we can quit. Right, gents?
Yes. I second that, and we haven't yet toasted our very own happily engaged couple. A long and happy life to you. Hear, hear! Heavyweight toast for your lovely betrothed. The very thought renders you speechless. And yet another lad falls from the ranks of free bachelorhood. So glad it's him and not me. Why, Nicholas, you surely changed your tune since last evening.
Aye, he shifts like the very wind.
I wonder what he'll be saying next week. So do we. Look, Mrs. Beswick, did you say there's some entertainment planned?
Yes, dear. These are entertainers for the evening.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
did forget. Often. Here's another Christmas Eve, not many years later.
Oh, Belle, I'm sorry I'm late. I work this season of the year. I'm so busy. I wish I could think it were just this season, but another idol has displaced me. I hope it comforts you in time to come. What idol do you refer to, Belle? A golden one. There is nothing in this world as hard as poverty. You fear the world too much. You hold money more important than me or anything else. I have grown wiser, but it hasn't changed my attitude toward you. But it has. You are changed. I am going to grant your wish and let you free to go your own way. Have I ever asked to be freed? Not in so many words, Ebenezer, but it is what you wish. I hope you are happy in the life you have chosen. Goodbye, Ebenezer. Well,
I almost went after her.
Almost carries no weight in matters of the heart. Why didn't you?
I was building the foundation for my future financial successes. And I must say, I've achieved that goal nicely.
You have explained what you have gained. I will show you what you have lost.
What a brood! That could have been mine.
I was thinking the same thing.
Papa, what of our presents?
In the drawing room, my dears.
Oh, let's go see everyone. Father, you and Mother always make Christmas so wonderful for your grandchildren. Tell me, have you and the little ones been working on any Christmas surprises this year?
I'll never tell.
We know you're always full of surprises, Father.
That's true. I've spotted all the mistletoe you've hung to the house, Father.
So have I. Jacob caught me under it at the front door.
One of my favorite Christmas traditions.
Good for you, Jacob. You'd best be watching, my dear Penny.
Grandma, Peggy and Betsy aren't leaving room for my stocking on the mantle. That's because the stocking's so small it doesn't need much room.
Noah, we all know that St. Nick will find your stocking and stuff it full of surprises.
Not with the fire burning in the fireplace.
Noah, I'll see to it that the fire's cooled for our jolly friend, St. Nick.
Is it time? Is it time?
Time for what?
Mother, come sit down. Father has organized some Christmas cheer for you.
This is my favorite part of Christmas Eve.
like it?
I always love your Christmas surprises, my dear. Grandma, we've arranged one surprise that Grandfather doesn't even know about. Here it is.
I passed by his office window. He had a single candle lit and was working all by himself on Christmas Eve. I hear his partner, Jacob Marley, is lying near death, and there he sat, Ebenezer Scrooge, alone, quite alone in the world.
Poor Ebenezer, poor wretched man.
Spare me your pity. I had enough of your pictures of the past.
Scrooge again fell into a disturbed sleep, only to be awakened after what seemed to be an eternity, or really it was no time at all. He was never quite sure, for time had lost its measure since Marley had come. A blaze of warm, ruddy light flooded his room, and a booming voice called his name.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge! I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me.
You're practically a giant, and yet you have such a young face. I've never seen the like of you before.
I have many brothers, more than 1,800.
One for each Christmas.
You are here to take me with you. You can duck me where you will.
I trust you will profit by our journey. Touch my robe. A very poor house, as you can see.
Indeed it is. Who, may I ask, lives here?
An underpaid clerk named Bob Cratchit. The woman is Mrs. Cratchit, and those are some of her children. There are others.
Martha? Martha, we're so glad you're here.
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Hurrah, hurrah, it's Christmas. I thought it would never come. You dear child, they kept you this late even on Christmas Eve?
We had a great deal of work to finish up.
Well, never mind, so long as you're here. Guess what? We're having the most wonderful goose for dinner. Can you smell it cooking?
Oh yes, my mouth is watering. It's been so long since last year's Christmas goose.
Tessa, please butter the bread, thinly mind you, and put it in the basket. Yes, Mother. I'll help you set the table, Martha.
Here's the Christmas clock.
Mother, may I go get the plum pudding? Did you bake the cross, Mother? Of course. Christmas comes but once a year, and we must have our traditions preserved. Oh, here comes Father and Tiny Tim. Hi, Martha, hi. Over here, Martha. Oh, hurry, let's fool Papa.
Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Here she is, here she is.
Martha!
I'm so glad it's finally Christmas. Tiny Tim, how are you?
Oh, it's so good to be home. I feel myself growing stronger every day.
Oh yes, I quite agree. You're looking a bit taller and rosier than I last saw you. Let's go look over the plum pudding, Tiny Tim.
The goose is almost done. Come look. There's some punch ready. Boys, help your sisters bring it in. And how did Tiny Tim behave in church today?
As good as gold and better. And he told me, coming home, he hoped all the people in church saw he was a cripple, because it might be pleasant for them on Christmas Day to remember who made the lame beggars walk and the blind men see.
That little chap with the crutch.
Tiny Tim.
Has he been crippled long? Can't the doctors help him?
Bob Cratchit can't afford a doctor. Not on 15 shillings a week salary. He has many mouths to feed. Ah, your mother's famous Christmas punch. Finest in all England.
You pour it, Bob.
Have your cups and glasses ready. Has outdone herself. What finer way to start off the feast than with a fine bit of punch?
I'm so hungry. Directly after we finish this, we'll have dinner.
Now, are we all ready? I propose a toast.
A toast.
I propose two toasts. First, to the founder of this feast to be, I give you Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he had a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake and the day's, and not for his. A long life to him and a Merry Christmas. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And now, a toast to us. A very Merry Christmas to all of us. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Oh no, Spirit, no! Say Tiny Tim will live, that he'll be spared.
Why concern yourself with him? Isn't it better that he die and decrease the surplus population?
But he and these others must be helped.
Are there no prisons?
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
Do not taunt me.
Come, we must go.
Answer
We
me.
have still another stop.
Christmas is such a wonderful day, and not a humbug as your precious uncle claims.
He believed it too. More's the pity.
It's hard to have pity for such a man.
I feel sorry for him. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
Funny, his not wanting to bother with us. We ask only of his company, nothing more.
He's the only one who suffers by his ill whims.
One thing, he has lost a fine dinner by it.
Well, I don't care how many times I have to hear bah humbug. I'm going to make him the same offer every Christmas.
And he will say,
bah humbug!
It was indeed a lovely dinner. The goose is delicious.
I don't know how Peg has learned all this so quickly. She's a wonderful cook.
Oh, thank you.
When you come to our house, don't expect such a feast.
No, you better learn how to cook first.
Why, I do know how to cook.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I
have a great faith in you young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper?
I feel like a wretched outcast being a bachelor. It is not yet my place to offer an opinion on that subject.
What's going on there, girls? Oh, we're just admiring Anne's new taffeta. And Jane has such a gorgeous new coif. The ribbons look beautiful. Are you trying that for your wedding day? Oh, yes, we are all looking forward to your wedding. That would be another festive occasion.
You'd better practice for the dancing first. Let's have John and Jane lead us in a waltz.
Oh, a good idea. I need a partner.
Come, Margaret, let's join in the fun.
May I have this dance?
Will you do me the honor?
May I offer you some punch?
Why, that would be delightful. Oh, Topper, I do hope there'll be more dancing.
Anyone for a game of forfeits?
Oh, I don't know about that game. It's so hard to be truthful about some topics. What topics might you be referring to, sister? The topic of love. What do you think of playing forfeits, Topper?
I think it's a fine idea for such a festive party. John, now, how many days is it until your wedding day?
28? Surely you know it's only 27.
I've got one enough putting men on the spot. And my dear, just how long have you and Peter been married?
Well, let's see. It must be 5 months, 16 days, and 3.5 hours. Isn't that right, dear? Well, of course. Now, here's a question, my dearest husband. What did I buy at the market today?
No doubt more than one purchase was made.
That's not the answer. Come on.
Say, didn't you buy one of those new lace petticoats you're wearing?
Now, Brother Henry, just where were you last night till the moon no longer shone?
Well, you've got me. I offer you my forfeit.
I thought you were with your brother last night, James.
My turn. Sister, here's a forfeit especially for you. Is there some gentleman in this room you fancy? Name him.
Oh, no. I couldn't.
Forfeit! Enough of this. Time to redeem these forfeits. Let's start with John.
Here, I have a super fine forfeit. The owner must redeem by kissing the gentleman over there under the mistletoe.
Capital! Enough of these forfeits. As host, I'll collect the rest of these forfeits.
I think it's time for some entertainment.
Yes.
can think of something, and you must ask me questions about it. I can only answer yes or no. All right, everybody?
Sounds great!
Now then, I have it. Is it alive? Yes.
Is it an animal?
Oh, yes.
Is it a wild animal?
Yes.
Does it grunt?
Yes.
Does it growl?
Yes, it does.
Does it live in the jungle?
No, not really.
Does it live in the city?
Yes.
Is it led around on a leash?
No.
Is it sold in the market?
No.
Is it a bull?
No.
Is it a tiger?
No.
Is it a pig?
Is it a bear?
No.
Is it a dog? Oh, I have it. It's your Uncle Scrooge. It was too a bear.
Peg seems a nice enough sort, don't you think? I should like to meet her, I believe.
You had your chance, Ebenezer Scrooge. Now I must leave you. Time is drawing near.
Please, kind spirit, don't leave me. Not right now. I wish to talk, to ask you advice.
Are you sure you need advice, Ebenezer? After all, are you not a rich man, a man of intelligence, a man who knows his own mind?
No.
Goodbye, Ebenezer. Wait for the stroke of 3.
The bell struck yet another melancholy chime. As the last echo died out, he lifted his eyes to behold a solemn, hooded phantom moving steadily toward him.
The third and last one. The spirit of Christmas yet to come. Where will you take me? What will I see? Have I anything to fear? You're about to show me shadows of things that have not yet happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Lead on then, for the night is waiting fast, and it is precious time to me.
About it either way. I only know he's dead. When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him?
No one knows.
I wonder what he's done with all his money.
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps.
He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral.
I don't know of anybody to go to it.
Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but I must be fed if I'm to bother to go. I'm not that hungry, thank you.
Spirit, the dead man those women were talking about. Who was he? Or if he is or was, he left no sympathy behind him. He must have been much disliked.
You shouldn't work in this bad light, Mother. Your eyes are already strained.
I'll stop for a while, for I don't want to show a pair of eyes to your father when he comes home. It's time he was here.
past it rather, but these days he walks slower than he used to.
I've known your father to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed. He was so light to carry. Your father loved him so. It was no trouble.
Poor father. He's aged so these past few months.
You're late tonight, Robert?
Yes, I'm late.
You went there today, Robert?
Yes, I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is.
I'll go with you one of these days.
I promised him I'd walk there every Sunday. My poor Tiny Tim. At last, he's got rid of his crutch.
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping? Whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch our keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him laud, the babe, the Son of Mary. What child is this who lays to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping? Whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch our keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him laud, the babe, the Son of
Why did Tiny Tim have to die? If only someone could have helped him. Spirit, the dead man those women are discussing. Who was he? Who was he? You mean it was I? I was the man? Oh no, Spirit. Hear me. This can't happen. It mustn't be allowed. I'm not the man I was. I'm not the man I must have been but for this lesson. I want a Christmas in my heart. Try to keep it alive all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. I will not shut up the lesson that all three spirits have taught me. Oh, tell me there's hope, that I may sponge away my selfish past. Oh, tell me there's still hope. I'll be a different man. Where am I? Why, I'm in my own bed. And those bells! It must be Christmas Day. Christmas Day. I wonder. Now, boy, tell me, what day is it today?
Why, it's Christmas Day, of course.
And to think the spirits have done it all in one night.
What's that, sir?
Do you know the Poulters on the next street?
I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they sold the prize turkey hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
What the delightful boy! Yes, the one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it.
You're pulling my leg.
Indeed I'm not. Here's the money. Go buy it and deliver it to Bob Cratchit, who lives on Golden Street in Camden Town.
Cratchit? Golden Street? Camden Town. I understand, but sir, there'll be considerable money left over. Almost half a sovereign.
Keep it, my boy, keep it.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And boy, don't let Mr. Cratchit know who sent the turkey. It's a surprise. And something else. A very Merry Christmas to you.
And a Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Ring Christmas bells, merrily ring, tell all the world Jesus is King. Loud and proclaim, ring, one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, sound pioneers, song from the old, Jesus is here. Herald the news to old and young, tell it to all in every tongue. Ring Christmas bells, toll loud and long, your message sweet, feel everyone. Come, my people, join in the singing, repeat the story told by the ringing. Ring Christmas bells, ring Christmas bells, loudly proclaim, ring one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, merrily ring, tell all the world Jesus is King. Loudly proclaim, ring one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, all pioneer, now we may all Jesus is here. Herald the news to old and young, tell it to all in every tongue. Ring Christmas bells, toll loud and long, your message sweet, peal and prolong. Come, my people, join in the singing, repeat the story told by the ringing. Ring Christmas bells, loudly proclaim, ring one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, merrily ring, tell all the world. Jesus is King.
Oh, how lovely. We'll be ready for dinner in another half hour. Fine. I'm as hungry as a proverbial bear. Who is it? You?
Well, this took a lot of courage, but here I am. Well, nephew, introduce me to your wife.
Uncle Ebenezer, this is Peg.
That's no way to greet an uncle. That's the way to greet an uncle. Are you a good cook, Peg?
Quite good. She's a wonderful cook.
I'm sure she is. Nephew, I've accepted your invitation to Christmas dinner. From now on, both of you had better plan on seeing a great deal of me. I'll explain it all later. Right now, let me say I'm a changed man.
Bells merrily ring, tell all the world Jesus is King. Loudly proclaim, with one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, now we're near, now we may all Jesus is here. Herald the news to old and young, tell it to all in every tongue. Ring Christmas bells, toll loud and long, your message sweet, peal and prolong. Come, my people, join in the singing, repeat the story told by the ringing. Ring Christmas bells, ring Christmas bells, loudly proclaim, ring one accord, the happy tale, welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, merrily ring, tell all the world. Jesus is King.
The change in Scrooge was never to be understood by anybody, but what explanation was needed?
It was enough to enjoy him and to see him enjoy himself.
Time had become his to make amends in and to fulfill all of his good intentions.
And oh, how he loved surprising people with the new Scrooge he had become since Marley had blessed him with the timely visit of the spirits.
Well, Cratchit, what do you mean coming to work at this time of day? You are 18 and 1/2 minutes late.
I'm sorry, sir. I overslept.
Overslept, a poor excuse.
Please, sir. It happens but once a year. I was making rather merry yesterday.
Step this way. Now I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer. Therefore, I'm gonna raise your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas than I've wished you for many a year.
Are you well, sir?
Couldn't be better. And this afternoon, we'll discuss how best I can help you and your family, especially Tiny Tim. He'll get better. I'll see to that. Now make up the fire and put another coal scuttle on me before you dot another I.
You seem in unusually fine spirits, sir.
Spirits? I should be, for I was visited by 3 of the wisest spirits that ever walked the earth.
God bless you, sir. And as Tiny Tim would say, God bless us, everyone.
As you might imagine, Tiny Tim did not die.
Scrooge had kept his word. He was like a second father to the boy.
He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as any good old city ever knew.
He had no further dealings with spirits, but lived upon a total abstinence principle ever afterward. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us all. And as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
I think our adventure had a wonderful ending. I enjoyed it, students, very, very much. I think you did a tremendous job. It was 100% better than it was this afternoon. Thank you for all your effort. And they did do a very nice job this afternoon. We had about 200 students from St. Augustine's School, and we had about 30 people, older people that had come from some of the homes around Kalamazoo. So that was a very special audience for them to perform for. I would like to introduce the teachers first this evening. Will you come forward, teachers, please? Kindergarten teachers, if you're in the audience, please come up too. Okay, we'll do first grade until the kindergarten teachers get here. These teachers are responsible for helping out with 12 Days of Christmas. Mrs. Widman and Mrs. Simpson, and also for those little ones that were out here in the circles dancing and coming up here and bowing. It took a lot of work to get that done. Thank you, gal. Mrs. Hook and Ms. Lavoie. They worked with the second graders. They also were involved with 12 Days of Christmas and keeping everybody in an orderly manner backstage and getting them on at the right time and occupying them all the time the rest of the performance was going on. Did a nice job. Miss McNamara and Madame Coyne. Miss McNamara is a drama major, so this is the first time she's seen this, but I expect in the future that she'll help us more. And of course, you could tell Madame had a part with the French. Mrs. Lanfear and Mrs. Miner for third grade, they kept this group in tow right over here. So they had a big job the whole time. Nice job, girls. These two worried the whole last 2 weeks about the Fezziwig party because the children had a hard time catching on to the humor and the subtleties and the little bits of sarcasm. But they kept going over and over it, and the children finally made it. Mr. Myers and Miss Taylor, fourth grade. These ladies do lots of things. Bread and peg party, keep people quiet backstage, and Mrs. Haynes handles all the props from that side of the stage. Mrs. Haynes, Mrs. Karan is the student teacher for 5th grade, and Mrs. Hannaford, the other 5th grade teacher. Thanks, guys. Here we have 6 and 7, Mrs. Schroeder and Mrs. Blanks. Most of their students were involved with speaking parts this time, so they didn't think they were going to have much to do. They got fooled. Mrs. Newton teaches all the algebra to the older students. She isn't around too much. She just comes in and chuckles at everything we're doing during practice time. Mrs. Covey is responsible for all the props that come in on this side, and she also works with those gossipy ladies. Sometimes they didn't have to get in character too much, did they, Beth? It was rather natural. These are our kindergarten ladies, Miss Lennon, Mrs. Newton, and Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith also helps with the makeup for this show, and these other two gals are getting all the kindergartners ready for their performance that will be a week from tomorrow. Hope it's going well. Now, we couldn't do this show without these people that I'm going to introduce next, because the General keeps everything going smoothly, General Perry. And Mrs. Gagie decided this year that we should have all new scenery because most of the students who had painted the original scenery had already graduated. So she and many of our students are responsible for the new shops, the windows, and everything new that you saw on the stage this year. And of course, our wardrobe mistress, seamstress extraordinaire, and anything else we need done, dancing, whatever, Marcia Henley. So I can't thank you enough, guys. You helped it turn out beautifully. These three are also a team, and I get involved with them once in a while too. Katie Zarzor is the PE teacher, but she's also become a choreographer, and she may even get into that business. She does such a nice job. George didn't know he was a choreographer either, George Case. He thought he could only do trombone, piano, and every other instrument, but he was involved with that also. And Laura Gagie Kelpin, of course, helped with the directing. So these three were tremendous. They had a lot of fun with the children. I think the children now see that anybody can think up dances and make them come off on the stage and have everybody enjoy themselves. So I thank these three for everything along with everybody else. And you see, George really is a music man. Did you hear that music after only 2 months out of those instruments? Okay, now for the students who really did the job. First, the third graders. We want you to just get one last good look at everybody. First graders. This is cooperation in action. The Fezziwig Party. Fezziwig Party. Fred and Peg Party. Ladies and Chad. Gossipy Ladies and Chad. They were back there gossiping. Okay, girls. Boy Scrooge, Fan, and Father. The solicitors. Grandma Bell and husband, Grandpa Bell. The doll dancers. Young Ebenezer and Belle. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig. I want to tell you something special about today because we had a little problem this morning that we had to worry about for a few hours. John Bruza, who was Scrooge, was vomiting this morning and was running a temperature, so we weren't sure he was going to be with us this evening. So I said to Jimmy, you may have to be Scrooge this evening. He said, I don't know if I can do it. And I said, I'm sure you can do it. We brought him in the office and went through the script. He remembered every word, so he was just waiting in case John couldn't make it on the stage. So I wanted you to know that. We always have people around here that are ready to do things, and I think John made it through just marvelously. But Jimmy was there and ready, and I appreciate people who can do that. So thank you, Jimmy. The Cratchit family. Fred and Peg. The Spirits. And Scrooge and Cratchit. I would like to give the children some directions so that it won't be such a turmoil when we finish. I would like to have grades 1, 2, and 3 stay right where they are when we finish singing Silent Night. Grades 1, 2, and 3 stay right where you are, and parents, if you'll make your way up here, they can be patient and the teachers will stay with them, so no one will get lost. Now, students in grades 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, have things that they need to return to the costume box in some cases. So if you have things to return, we'll dismiss you one grade at a time to go do that. Teachers, when they are finished, I would like them to come back here and sit on the stage, and then they could be dismissed to their parents. And teachers, if you'll go back there with them so we take one group at a time. I think that'll make it much more orderly. So everyone will return to this area, and you may come and claim your children. I hope all of you have a wonderful holiday season. We're calling this Goodwill Month at the Gagie School, and we'll try to be thinking a lot of others and doing as many things as we can for other people. We hope you will do the same. Speak of goodwill, and there it is. Anyway, have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you all around the school during the month of December. Good night.